these people how to do their job. It's not like you don't have experience. You have had to deal with this pretty much the whole time you were a mayor, and you did it successfully. You would think they would listen. And can you please explain why they're now, as de Blasio and Cuomo fight amongst themselves, and they don't ask for the National Guard that it is their job to ask for, that the president then might have to invoke an 1807 law to bypass them and usurp the power because they're not doing their job?
The de Blasio-Cuomo problem is a special problem. They hate each other. And frankly, de Blasio is completely incompetent. And the governor really, in good conscience, should replace him because he's the sole reason why the New York City Police Department isn't acting. And it really wasn't fair of the governor to attack the police department. He should have attacked de Blasio. He knows what I know. So I will tell you this, Sean, this is absolutely true. De Blasio, over the last 3 or 4 or 5 nights, calls individual police chiefs and tells them not to enforce the law. He tells them not to make arrests. He goes around the police commissioner and does that. It's outrageous. Don't watch people stealing and not interrupt them unless somebody is holding them back. The person holding them back is Mayor de Blasio. I know that. Cuomo knows that. Everybody in New York.
But Governor, Cuomo has the authority. He's the governor of the state. Does he not have the authority?
The man is obstructing.
We have cops also being beaten in Buffalo, New York, too. He has the authority to ask the president.
De Blasio is not just not enforcing the law. He is interfering in the enforcement of the law. And the governor should remove him. And this city, this should never happen in this city. We have a 35,000-person police department. I had 10 times where they attempted to do this to me, and they never got beyond first base. I had to arrest 700 people once with Chief Esposito. We did it. They've only arrested a measly 200 people last night, and I rode up and down Madison Avenue today, and I went all the way down to Union Square. And my city, it's disgraceful. The man should hang his head in shame what he's allowed to happen to the city. Mr.
Mayor, the governor...
He's a disgrace of a mayor. Now,
but
the rest of the Democratic mayors throughout the country aren't much better. This is happening in progressive, liberal, democratic cities because they are very friendly to criminals. They let them out of jail. They let them out of jail on ridiculous bail laws. They let them out of jail, and the minute there's coronavirus, they let them all out of jail, and they start raping people like they did in New York.
Mr. Mayor, this is an important question.
Minneapolis let them take the police precinct. It said to Antifa and all the national groups, let's come in and push these cops around because their political leaders will not support them. The cops are being victimized. It's the political leadership, the left leadership, that is allowing this to happen in 30 or 40 American cities. And they're all Democratic.
The governor, Mr. Mayor, the governor has the authority to call in the guard himself because it's also happening in other parts of the state. He hasn't. And this governor, you seem to be giving him a pass. He's the one that signed the bill that mandates that criminals have no bail at all, so they get instantly released and go right back where they were in the middle of the anarchy because of his law. Why doesn't he call up the guard?
I'll tell you what he can do right now, sitting there in Albany or wherever he is. He could remove de Blasio, and he could order the police commissioner of New York to enforce the law, and this will end in 24 hours.
What about the National Guard? Should they ask the president for the help?
We don't need the National Guard. The New York City Police Department is bigger, stronger, better, and knows what it's doing more than the National Guard. The National Guard is trained to defend us in war. The New York City Police Department has kept us out of riots for 20 years, 24 years, under me and Bloomberg. They just need a mayor. They just need a mayor.
I've got to run, but they should...
That stops interfering with them. They're the best law enforcement organization in the United States, and the biggest.
I agree.
They're twice as big as the FBI. They're twice as skilled as the FBI. I rely on them to do my mafia murders.
I'll add one thing. I think he should call in the guard. And number two, he needs to suspend immediately the no bail law that he signed into action. But, Mr. Mayor, thank you for being with us. Now,
Thank
as the
you.
President and the Justice Department move ahead on bold actions to keep our city safe amid massive failure of these liberal mayors and governors, well, the mob and the media, they're actually opposing the president's plan to restore law and order. Just listen to fake news CNN's Don Lemon claiming we're headed towards a dictatorship. No, we're in the middle of anarchy. Take a look.
For this very moment that just happened in front of our eyes, why were we pretending otherwise? Open your eyes.